the American dream is dead. But if I get elected president, I will bring it back bigger and better and stronger than ever before, and we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much.
2016, year of the snake. It's time for a change in the White House, y'all. Liberty. Bring it.
How's it going, folks?
If you want the real deal, then you gotta get a real leader. Want a real leader, then we need a real man. Build a wall, deal with all them terrorists. America needs a man that can. If you want to feel safe in your own backyard, one choice.
How's it going, Chris? How's it going, Anne-Marie? How's it going, Fred?
You say hell high. When I say Trump, you say hell high. Make America great again. Make America.
Just gonna do a few little shares.
Make America great.
How's it going, Becky? How's it going, Anna-Marie? I really appreciate that Chris tells me when people come into the room that he can see, because sometimes I can't see you. I can't see you come into the room. Facebook hides. So I really appreciate that he does that. Sometimes when I say your name, it is merely because Chris has said hello. This is why I love my Chris so much. I love you so much. You have no idea. Oh, I just don't think I can do it without you. I don't think I can fight this Goliath without you people. So I love you guys. I love you guys.
When I say Trump, you say hell high.
I say Trump, you say high. Make America, make America, make again. I know, I'm in and out. I know, Facebook is, you don't even, yesterday was ridiculous. Because I didn't have all the other platforms, I couldn't even talk to Twitter. I couldn't get through at all, I had no reception. I could make calls, I could send text. Couldn't even answer my Facebook page.
Are you a real patriot of the USA?
Ridiculous.
Do you like having the right to bear arms? Protect your family? What about the ability to work a job?
Just doing a little shares. Then we're gonna get on to some talking.
Let's go to the D and end with a Trump. Come on, when I say Trump, you say
How's it going, Janet?
Make America great again. Make America great again. Make America.
How's it going, Susan? Oh, thank you, Laser Snake. Always inspiring a little Laser Snake in the morning. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Trump Talk US live in DC with Suzzanne Monk, the one and only live broadcast here, right here, 20 minutes away from our nation's beautiful Capitol building, 24 minutes away from our president's beautiful White House. I was down at the White House just yesterday, standing in front of the White House with the Iranian American patriots. We had a fantastic rally. We rallied to thank President Trump for the ending of the Iran deal, for standing. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Standing with the Iranian people who seek freedom. I called out my Democrats. I called out my feminist Democrats. Thomas, that's so annoying. Come back in and come back out. Although, if there's no sound or video, you won't hear that. But hopefully somehow that message will get through. Facebook. I called out my Democrat female compatriots, not patriots, compatriots, people who are supposed to be with you, for not standing with women in Iran who are standing up against the oppression against women. I called out Jimmy Carter. I called out the failed presidency of Barack Obama. I called it all out. Told the truth. Told the truth about my great president and what he is doing for freedom and what he is doing to defend us against radical Islamic terrorism. And I called out the heinous regime in Iran as the top of the food chain when it comes to radical Islamic terrorism. All of those things true. So I'm getting some footage of my speech, so at least we can share that with folks. Hopefully later on we'll make that happen. We're sharing, of course, with our great friends over at Overpasses for America, who are doing a great event, I believe. June 14th through 17th, they're having events all across the country, if I am not mistaken. Do go to Overpasses for America. You can Google, you can Facebook search Overpasses for America. I think it's OFA2. Maybe Fred will come in here and share the link. Share the link, because I'm not good at link remembrance. But I am good at remembering my friends. How's it going, Ron? And my fellow patriots, and how much I love and appreciate them so much. Okay. Let's do a quick share here to my good friends over at Virginia Women for Trump. There we go. And then we will get talking about some topics. There's some things I want to go over, and we're always, of course, chime in with questions, chime in with some things you want to talk about. But there's some things I definitely want to talk about, because there's some things wrong with this country, you guys. There are some things that are horribly broken in our country. And adults, how's it going, Steve? How's it going, Stacey? How's it going? There's some things we gotta fix. There are some things we gotta fix. So, I've been in a little bit of a debate over on the political storm. If you don't know about the political storm, you should find out about it. I post articles on there once every week or 2 weeks, sometimes once every few days, depending on how many articles I haven't gotten into yet. So there's going to be another couple articles there over the next few days, because I do try to get about 4 articles in a month. And they're a great site. They don't censor, and they do that. Not only do we have great articles that are original content being written right there for the political storm, but on top of that, we can share links, share video, and start conversations about them. And so I've been engaged in a bit of a conversation about the Boy Scouts. So let's just talk about this. Thank you, Fred. Awesome. Fred has shared the Overpasses for America link after the show. Don't go there now. Stay and listen. I gotta fight Facebook enough, and I gotta fight Google Goliath. Really is what it is, because it's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's Google, it's YouTube, it's this whole digital beast that we're fighting constantly. I've started to call that beast Goliath. Share that term with your friends. Everybody can use it. Anybody can use it. How's it going, Janice? Fighting Goliath. Tiresome work, my friends. Tiresome work. So this is why I tell you about, everybody who's standing against it. And this is why we've been broadcasting on Infinity SN for a while. And hopefully we're going to catch up on that. That's going to be even better. We're going to be sharing the show on YouTube. And then I'm getting some things going. We got Quadmocast trying to happen. So, but I shared an article about the Boy Scouts. Okay? And I know we've been all very upset. Everybody's been talking about letting girls into the Boy Scouts. But it's much worse than we even thought, everybody. It's, oh my gosh, it's much worse than we even thought. Because coming up this year, the Boy Scout Jamboree, they will require, thank you so much, they will require the Boy Scout Jamboree to have ample access for all of the scouts to condoms. Yeah, condoms. They want to make sure that all of the Boy Scouts have at the Jamboree can get condoms, because now there's going to be girls. I wish I could make this stuff up. I can't. I couldn't even make stuff that's up, Evil. How's it going, Angel? Because there will be girls there. There will be girls present. And so the Boy Scouts of America, or excuse me, Scouts BSA, because they're not called the Boy Scouts of America because we can't have boys in the name anymore, have decided that they need to make sure that these young people, 14 to 17 years old, have free access. I know, that's what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying. They need to be flipping out. They need to be flipping out. This is highly dangerous, okay? Have access, free access to condoms. Now, let's just talk about a few things, okay? One, they're not providing any education to use with those condoms. I just want to point that out. The BSA, it's now starting to sound like bullshit of America, is really what it's starting to sound like. Let's be honest. The BSA is not providing any information on how to use those condoms. They're just providing access to the condoms. So already highly irresponsible. Highly irresponsible. Yes. Secondarily, and I must issue... yes, there are still Girl Scouts, and the Girl Scouts are actually going to start fighting the BSA by amping up membership and trying to hopefully provide a safe space for girls. I'm hoping that the BSA, losing its damn mind, actually is going to bring the Girl Scouts back from the brink of liberal lunacy. Let's pray. Let's pray for that. So, here's the problem I'm having, okay? Because I am not opposed to keeping children safe. In fact, I am all for keeping children safe. Providing condoms to 14 to 17-year-olds does not keep children safe. In fact, what it does is suggests to these young people that the adults, the adults expect young people to be having sex. Exactly, Mike, over here on Twitter. It says sex is okay, not only okay, but expected. So now you are not just making sure that kids who might have sex have access to protection. You are actually suggesting to them that the adults are going to be so bad at chaperoning that we don't think we're capable of chaperoning you. And since we're not capable of chaperoning you, we actually expect you to be having sex. Yeah. And here's the real thing. Mike, you're so true. Mike over here on Twitter says, then they'll do it without the condom sometimes. Truth be told, they're going to do it without the condom most of the time. Because young people, 14 to 17-year-old boys or girls, are not going to go to their scoutmaster and ask for a condom. They're not going to do it. They're already embarrassed, awkward, uncomfortable, especially if what you're telling them, which is the utter insanity of these mixed messages that we have in our school system, in our scout system now, this mixed message that we say, we don't want you to have sex because it's not good for you. But if you do have it, you need to come ask us for a condom. Why would I come ask you for something that literally, you told me you don't want me to do? I don't want you to do this, but if you do break my rules and don't listen to me, come ask me so I can make sure that you do that safely. That is literally telling children the rules mean nothing. The adult isn't serious. And we expect you to break the rules and then come ask us. And kids aren't going to do that. They're going to break the rules. Hey, how's it going, Eric? Yep, parents are not going to let them go. This is exactly, it's going to fail, and parents are going to not hold their kids home. And they should, because it is utterly a dangerous premise. Because what we are suggesting to you is go ahead. I know, right, Troy? Maybe they will provide a special... It just gets so bad. What they're basically saying is that we expect you to not obey adults. We are not capable of observing you and being proper chaperones. Therefore, we expect you to have sex. If you don't want to be embarrassed, go ahead and have unprotected sex. But if you can handle a little embarrassment, you can come talk to us, and we might make it safer for you. We're not teaching them the dangers of sex. We're not teaching them the dangers emotionally. How's it going, Deontay? We're not teaching them the dangers of emotionally having sex at an early age. We're not teaching them the dangers of physically having sex at an early age. We're not protecting children from the consequences. And so it's ridiculous. Now, in my debate I've been having on the Political Storm, my debate partner, the person I was debating, said that it's kind of like a canoe. Like maybe you have a lake and you don't want the kids to be out canoeing, but you give them a life vest in case they go out canoeing. And here's what's worse. You don't give them a life vest. You tell them to come ask for the life vest when they break the rules and go do what you just told them not to do. Now here's the question I want to ask all of my liberal, whatever they are, because you all are very afraid of kids and guns. So let's use a similar example, okay? Let's say there's guns. And you tell children, you shouldn't touch guns. You shouldn't be playing with guns. We don't want you to touch or play with guns because they're dangerous. They could harm you. You could die. Oh, and by the way, here's a bulletproof vest in case you don't listen to us and you accidentally start shooting each other in the chest. Would that be a good idea? Would my liberal counterparts suggest... Thank you. Would my liberal counterparts suggest that what we do is give children bulletproof vests so that if they don't listen to us and they play with guns and they start shooting at each other, is it okay? To do this, especially during the Me Too movement, seems like a setup for boys. It totally seems like a setup for boys. And let's get to the reality. And this is why I'm talking about it here on the show. Okay? Because you have to argue with people on the left. You know, I had a great meeting with the Northern Virginia Tea Party, and there was a great speaker who explained a lot of great things. When you're arguing with the left, you have to be able to argue in a way that they're going to comprehend and understand and hold down the argument. Okay? Yeah. So, but here's why I talk about it here on the show, because we need to talk about it even further. Because in my assessment, the only valid reason why would the BSA, the Scouts BSA, the formerly known as Boy Scouts of America, why would they feel that bringing condoms to the Jamboree and providing them readily available is going to help? Because one, the children aren't going to use them. They're not going to come ask for condoms to practice safe sex if they're actually trying to have sex. Two, adults should be chaperoning these children enough so they don't have time or access to one another in a way that allows them to have sex. Three, and we're going to talk about something that might make people a little uncomfortable. We're going to talk about it because it's just be honest. How's it going out, Mario? Boys aged 14 to 17 do not have fully developed penis size. It's not because I'm staring at a bunch of teenage penises. That's a scientific medical fact. Anybody in child development knows. Anyone who has a child knows. If this makes you uncomfortable and you have a child, please call another adult to help you with that child. Because talking about a body part, when you have children for whom all of their body you are responsible for, it shouldn't freak you out to accept the basic fact that 14 to 17-year-old boys do not have a fully developed penis. Get up. Let up. It's fact. So, regular sized condoms, not really well designed for boys of this age. Okay? So, children should be having sex, adults should be chaperoning, the condoms aren't really going to fit anyway. So let's ask the question, who are these condoms really for? Who are these condoms really for? Now, I don't like to sound like a crazy right-wing nutbag. I don't like to. Unfortunately, the left keeps making it impossible to avoid discussing these real issues because they are making their agenda more and more obvious. Okay, how's it going, Nancy? So we got to talk about this. Okay? Thank you, Cynthia. Who are these condoms for? The adults. The condoms are clearly there for the adults. Doesn't make any sense if they're for the children. The children aren't going to ask for them. Frankly, the average age of first sexual intercourse is getting older and older and older. So young people are not actually engaging in sex at these early ages, much like my generation, the millennials generation. We had a much earlier onset of first sexual intercourse. These kids are actually much older, so it's not really even the kids that are having sex, okay? So unfortunately, we have to start looking at the possibility that this, exactly as Cynthia says, as Janet says, as Susan says, it is about the adults. Now, it is about the adults for one of two reasons. One, these adults are lazy, and they don't want to actually chaperone these kids. They don't want to actually do their job. They don't want to make sure these kids are safe. So at the minimum, it's to make these adults feel less guilty. Don't be a pervert, Michael. We'll have to get rid of you. Seriously, it's not even funny. We're going to talk seriously. You've been warned. Just FYI. Seriously. So, at the very least, it's just to wage adult guilt. Now, the only other secondarily obvious possible reason that we could be making sure that condoms are available is that there are adults for whom the adult-sized condom will work that want to engage in sexual activity. Who's at this event? It's not a whole bunch of other adults. Adults are actually able to bring their own condoms. I don't know why the Boy Scouts would need to provide them, but nonetheless. We're going to talk about that for a second. So, it's clearly for adults who potentially want to engage in sexual activity with young people. Now, prior to this, prior to having girls in the group, the adults actually, let's be disgustingly honest. We have to speak the truth, you guys, and Facebook be damned. The average age is Al Mario is 18. The current average age of the average onset of male first intercourse is 18. That's the statistics. Just telling you the facts as they are. So, awesome, Patty. So, prior to having girls in the group, adults could basically get away with engaging in sexual activity with boys and with minimal consequence. There wasn't the possibility, while there is the possibility of sexually transmitted diseases, there wasn't the obvious possibility of pregnancy. Now, if you give somebody a sexually transmitted disease, it's really hard to prove that you did it. There's no DNA that's proving that you gave that person or child a sexually transmitted disease. There isn't. We're just speaking science, you guys. Just speaking science right now. Yep, exactly, Cynthia. More and more of this generation is doing that. However, if you engage in illicit sex with a minor female and you get her pregnant, there is a genetic link that proves that it was you. Oh yeah, Mario, I was too. Don't worry about it. But I'm just telling you the average age and the statistics. And like I said, older generations, my generation, the Xer generation, we had an earlier onset of intercourse. These kids are actually getting more conservative, not less. Yes. Exactly, Cynthia. So, who is going to take care of these young girls if they get pregnant? And it can be traced back to the adults. So, having condoms readily available for pedophiles who want to engage in heterosexual pedophilic activity only protects the adults. Now, let's get clear onto what I've been saying for a long time. I've been saying this for a long time. I have always been someone who appreciates that we are teaching young people about how to have safe sex when they get older. I also believe, before you get all freaked out, I also believe and have always advocated that we teach them the best and only appropriate choice until you have reached the age of majority is abstinence. We should be teaching young people, you should be abstinent. These are all the things that can go wrong if you are not abstinent until 18. You're not old enough to make the choices you should be making in order to be able to safely have sex. Now, at the same time, we don't want you having sex. We don't want you having sex. Nobody wants you having sex. Some of you are going to be stupid morons and not listen to us. And we should just let you know that there are methods to keep you from having some of those consequences. But you know what? The best method of keeping you from having those consequences is not having sex. And this is how we should be educating our children. We should be doing that or at the home than we should be doing it at schools. The problem is schools have way too much taken over this basic education. But this is what we should be teaching our young people, our parents at homes. We should be saying, this is why we don't want you to do it. We don't want you to do it because we don't want you to get pregnant. We don't want you to get diseases. We don't want you to have the emotional consequences and the social consequences of having sex. Having sex too early means your friends are going to call you slut. They're going to give you a reputation. They're going to treat you differently. It's going to change and negatively affect your life. For all of these reasons, we do not want you to have it. And by the way, if you're an utter moron and you don't listen to any adults and you're stupid and somehow for a second we can't lock you in a room because you're a moron and you break out, there are methods to protect yourself, moron. But let's start with the number one method. Number one method, abstinence, is what I call abstinence-based comprehensive sexual education. Abstinence-based comprehensive sexual education. That's what I've advocated all the time. Because I don't think that teaching kids the religious ideology that having sex is bad. Yeah, see? That's the way to go. Having sex is bad, and so just don't have it. Nothing else we're going to tell you. We're not going to tell you anything else. I don't agree. I think that actually that model does create sexual problems in adults in a married environment, even in a healthy monogamous relationship, monogamous married relationship. It can cause a lot of problems. So you need to teach children that sex is not bad in and of itself. Sex in the wrong places is bad. And you know, us gun folks, all right, us gun folks shouldn't have a problem understanding how to do this because we teach the same thing to our kids about guns. Guns are a great tool. Guns are fun. Guns can provide food. Guns can provide safety. And we don't want you playing with guns without supervision. We don't want you just willy-nilly throwing your guns around. We don't want you having the gun without the safety on. You're right. We're going to talk about that in a second, Victoria. So, guns, good. Handling guns inappropriately, in an unsafe way, bad. This is why I believe that teaching young people abstinence-based comprehensive sexual education is the most appropriate method to protecting our children. Because you are teaching them that in the right scenario, in the right environment, when used safely, sex can be great. Exactly, Beck. Give them knowledge and explain why there are rules. In the right scenario, in the right situation, with the right person, at the right age, sex can be great. At the wrong age, in the wrong environment, unsafely used and irresponsibly handled, sex can be deadly. And it is no different than guns whatsoever. No different. I want to figure out. I hate when Facebook doesn't show me the face of who's laughing because then I can't figure out who the troll is. Yeah, using guns inappropriately, even though the safety is on, is still unsafe. The safety is on, but I just throw it in the glove box and I don't secure it, and I might get in a wreck, and then the safety comes off, and that's still unsafe. Even with the safety on. We're gonna have a trigger warning. Even if my safety is on, let's pretend this is my weapon. I don't do this. Everybody who learned how to carry a gun knows this. Everybody who was taught anything about gun safety. It doesn't matter if the safety is on, I don't do this. No, that'd be you, boo. That would be you. Bye. Bye. Oh, I'm gonna find out who you are, Laugher. I'm gonna find out who you are. Chris, if you find out who that Laugher is, just block his ass. It's fucking trolls just pretending to be a fucking asshole. Yes, you always make sure the safety is on before you put it in your safe gun box. Okay? Holstered properly. I know. I'm gonna figure out who this troll is in a minute. We're gonna find the troll. So, go ahead. Laugh on. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having it. We'll find you. So, yeah, I bet it's frozen because they're mad. They've sent a whole little batch of trolls to try to pretend that they're laughing. Do me a favor, everybody who's watching the show, put hearts. Overcome the Laugher, and we'll solve the problem. Yeah, exactly. And now Facebook freezes me up. Because I've solved the problem. I've solved the digital problem that they're trying to solve. That they're trying to create for me by creating a laugh. And then by explaining, oh, everybody put hearts. As soon as I say that, it froze up. And I'm telling you guys. I'm just telling you on Twitter. It's exactly what's happening. We're just letting you know. I'm just giving you the facts. Just giving you the FACTS. So, we have a big problem with the Boy Scouts of America. I'm very concerned at the direction that they are going. Oh, yeah. Frozen, and then we have half the people in the room. Yeah. Yep, we're going to find you. We'll find you, troll. And then you're going to be blocked forever. And then you're going to have to find some other people. So, that's fine. So I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about the grave concern we need to have. And as I said, put hearts. And we'll go from there. Exactly. This seems like a weird... we're just going to do that. I don't even know what that's about. We're just going to do that, just in case. So, it'll be awesome. All right. So let's move on. Let's talk about some other issues that we have going on. And Victoria, I wanted to bring up what you just said because I think that's a great point. We are teaching our young people. Thank you, Janice. Exactly. We are teaching our young people that being... Oh, yeah. See, we find them and we block them. And pretty soon they'll all go away. So, we are teaching our young people that being a slut, being a porn star... Yeah, that's exactly what happens, Beck, all the time. They kill me from the beginning. It's forever frustrating. So, we are teaching our young people. We're literally, through this example, the Democrats. Now, the Democrats are the ones doing it. You can laugh if you want. It's sad that you guys laugh in the face of your country being destroyed, your positions being mocked, and your freedom actually being sacrificed to those who would steal it from you. It's sad that that's what you're doing, but it's all right. We're going to try to teach you a few things and try to educate you a little bit. Now, what we're doing is actually by the Democrats, by advocating, thank you, Rich, by advocating and supporting somebody like Stormy Daniels, that you are actually Yeah, Stormy Daniels getting a key to the city, having her own day celebrated. We're laughing at you, to be fair. All of us are laughing at you. When we find you and we block you. Just like that. We're laughing at you, actually, because it's embarrassing to see what you are actually doing. It's embarrassing to see what you are doing. It's embarrassing to see that you are actually taking and advocating to young people that, one, being a porn star is something to be celebrated, not a concern. Two, lying and signing agreements that say you're going to lie, also a concern. Three, yep, Democrats love hoes and criminals. No, I'm not going to teach people. I'm going to block them. I'm going to block them because I'm not playing this game, okay? Here's what happens when you people come on and you play your little game and you try to be like, why don't you teach people instead of block them? You're not listening. You didn't come to listen. Who came here to listen are my viewers who come here every single day to listen. Who come here every single day to get news and information and to share a conversation that you people interrupt, block, mock, and limit. So you didn't come to learn. You didn't come to learn. You came to hate, and you came to cause problems, and you came to shut my free speech. Eric, I think you're attacked. So, since I don't want my free speech shut up by a bunch of liberal F-nuts, I block you. That's what I do. Out of respect for the people who actually come here every day and try to listen. Out of respect for that, out of respect for the people who are actually trying to engage in free speech and willing, voluntary presumption, voluntary association is the word I'm looking for. I'm trying to honor those people. And so when you come here and violate that, I block you. I send you away to protect these people who have willingly and openly and eagerly come to listen to what I have to say. Exactly. So we're not playing games with you little lefties. We send you to Blocktown. And we do that on purpose, and we need to do that. Because you are a shame, you are fascist, and you are inhibitors of free speech. And you should all seriously be ashamed of yourselves. You should all seriously be ashamed of yourselves for what you engage in. And I know it's probably, you're not ashamed because you think getting a paycheck to commit acts of fascism is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Would it be okay? Would it be okay to get a paycheck to put Jews in a gas chamber? Is that okay? Would that be okay? Because that's the kind of behavior you're engaging in. So we'll just be honest. Now, Victoria, you were absolutely right to talk about Stormy Daniels. You're absolutely right to talk about suggesting that someone who lies, someone who manipulates the situation, someone who literally is obviously trying to bring down the president so that she can get a better porn star tour is a good suggestion. Now, I'm not saying young women do not engage in porn. I'm not saying young women do not engage in being a stripper. That's fine. That's fine. If that's your choice. It's not a good life choice. It's not a great life choice. I don't believe in making that a criminal life choice. I don't believe in making it any harder than it already is. But I also do not encourage advocating that to young people. Right. Right back. I don't think that's something we should do. Okay? It's not like, yay, this is a really good idea. Look how much we celebrate people who do this behavior that's probably really bad for them and endangers their lives. What are we doing? What is happening there? What is going on with that? And this is coming from someone who comes from the state of Nevada, who appreciates the legalizing of prostitution. Why? Why do I appreciate that in the state of Nevada, that's all right, Lorna, in the state of Nevada, they have legalized prostitution? Because it protects women. Now they're not on the streets getting beat up and killed by pimps. It protects the community. Now they are tested and prevented from sexual disease. It does a lot of things. That doesn't mean I think that Miss Bunny's Bunny Ranch should come and have career booths at the freaking high school. Okay? There's a difference between criminalizing something, making it illegal, and encouraging something. There's a big difference. There's a fantastically huge difference between those two things. Now, what we have by giving Stormy Daniels the key, by celebrating Stormy Daniels Day, by all of this BS is akin, I know, exactly, Beck. If this is the same as, thank you, Lisa, this is the same as the Bunny Ranch coming into the high school and saying, hey, you could have a career as a whore. It's a great opportunity. Not a great opportunity. Not a great opportunity. Some people are going to do it. They're adults. I believe in a free country where adults are allowed to do what two consenting adults choose to do, as long as it is not harming any other person and not violating the law. Yep. Exactly. Confuses the young mind. Then they have drugs and psychological screw up in the brain. Exactly. So, I don't even know what that means, Iqbal. We're probably going to have to block you. So, now, let's talk about a third thing that I got to rant about for a minute. We got to rant about this, because this pisses me off to no end. That is the idea that we are providing young people drugs and medication because they think they're the other gender. Okay? Now, I stand with my adult transgender and transsexual individuals who have chosen to live their very adult life as the other gender. As long as they don't expect special rules and special bathrooms, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. Okay? You're an adult. However, let's be very serious. Let's be very serious. Giving young people the idea that they are born in the wrong body, and so we are going to provide them puberty inhibitors and offer them the opportunity to have mastectomies and sex change surgery prior to turning 18 is child abuse. Child abuse. Okay? Just watched a great video. This woman made an excellent point, and I'm going to share her point with you because adults are not children. Exactly, Victoria. Exactly. She made a great point. If I walked into a doctor and said, I feel like I'm an amputee. I identify as an amputee, so I want you to cut this arm off so that I can be in my mind who I am in my body. I can be in my body who I think I am in my mind. That doctor would say, no, we're not going to do that. You have a mental disorder. We're going to send you to a therapist because wanting to cut off a perfectly healthy body part is insane. Okay? If you went into the doctor's office and said, I want to kill myself. I feel like I should die. We send you to the doctor. We go, there's something wrong with you. You want to end a perfectly healthy life. Okay? But if I walked into a doctor and said, I feel like a man, I want you to cut off my boobs, they sign up the surgery. Now, that being said, I agree adults have adults can do a lot of things. But when we start taking advantage of children, when we start bringing children into the mix, when we start suggesting that children can make these decisions, we've lost our minds. Because one, children, young people are still going through puberty. Young men and young women. In fact, young women take even longer to develop than young men. Young men and young women are going through puberty until a very advanced stage of teenagehood. So there are a lot of biological changes that are happening all the way up into adulthood and even past the age of 18. Okay? Fact. Now, here's what I also know. Yes, I did hear about that. Here's what I also know about the whole transgendered children situation, which is absurd. Okay? We used to, all right, here's what happened. When I was a kid and I was a little girl and I wanted to play with trucks, trucks, I don't have a toy truck here to play with. Trucks. I want to play with my truck. They're like, you're a girl, shouldn't you play with dolls? I'm like, no, I want to play with this truck. I like trucks. Okay? We just said you're a tomboy. She's a tomboy. Whatever. No big deal. Didn't mean I was a boy. Didn't mean I had gender dysphoria. It didn't mean I was a lesbian. It meant I liked trucks. That's it. How's it going, Mary? Then, in the 90s, this is how it went down. If a girl child was like, oh, I want to play with trucks. Trucks. They're like, she might be gay. She might be gay. Yeah. If a little boy was like, I want to play with dolls. They might be gay. That might be a gay person. Okay? So we used to be, if you play with toys, and I remember many feminists, yeah, exactly. Many feminists back in the day fought hard for the right for young girls to play with whatever toy they want, and it didn't have anything, right, exactly. People put trucks in the doll carriage. People like to play with different toys. It didn't have anything to do with your sexuality. Didn't have anything to do with that. Girls can play with trucks. It's okay for girls to like trucks. Suggesting that girls can't like trucks without being gay or having gender dysphoria is insane. And it is sexist. That's what's up, Daisy. It's sexist to say that. It's sexist to say that if little girls want to play with boys' toys, they argued so much. There's no such thing as boys' toys. Okay, well now they do this. Now they say, oh, if a little boy plays with dolls, that means he actually wants to be a girl. He has a medical condition that should involve cutting off his penis. What happened? What happened? We were all busy going along and saying, what toys you play with doesn't affect your gender. There are no such thing as gendered toys. Boys can play with dolls. It's okay to cry. You remember that phrase? It's okay for boys to cry. It's okay for boys to cry. Right? There are no such thing as boy toys and girl toys. Now, under this insane leftist ideology we have today, yeah, it's not the feminists, it's the feminazis. And you're so correct, Rich. So, sometimes, little boys who want to play with toys, want to play with dolls, they just want to be dads. They see their dad taking care of their little brother. They want to be a dad. Okay? That's why they're like, I want to play with the toys. I want to take care of the baby. Nothing wrong with that. We used to understand toys didn't have gender. It was okay. Whatever toy you want to play with, boy or girl, whatever, it's fine. Great. Now, we are using that, the feminazis. We are using that ideology to suggest gender dysphoria, a very rare and very dangerous mental condition that often leads to genital mutilation, breast removal, years of hormones that cause a whole slew of other health problems, not to mention a very difficult and hard life to lead. So, we actually have parents going in and saying to the doctor, okay, my little boy likes to play with dolls. I think he's a girl. Let's put him on puberty blocking hormones. Hormones that create an increased heart disease, increased liver disease, increased blood pressure issues, increased memory loss, all sorts of increased problems. And, by the way, have not been tested on healthy children. We have not tested these hormone blockers on healthy children. Exactly. Cancer, thank you as well, Cynthia. Yeah, they don't want boys to be boys, and they want girls in the Boy Scouts, and if you don't, it's toxic masculinity. At a very high suicide rate. Thank you very much, Fred. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you can't choose to live your life. I am a libertarian, small L. Yes, at 16, children can have their breasts removed without their parents' permission if they have been on testosterone hormones. If you are a girl and you've been on testosterone hormones for a year, which you apparently also can get without your parents' permission. Yeah, I'm sure you are, Lisa. They sent a bunch of trolls to me today. Yeah, it's a mental illness. Now, look, there are lots of people who live with a lot of mental illness, okay? There are lots of people that live with a basic depressive attitude. They live very manic. All kinds of things. They're fine. It's not inhibiting them. Their life is facilitated in this way. They're living with it. They are who they are. It's great. However, there are people who suffer from mental illnesses that it is very inhibitive in their life, and they go and they not only go and get medical treatment, but they need to get medical treatment because it's inhibiting their life. However, when you are a child, when you are below the age of 18, I'm going to say that a third time, when you are below the age of 18, it is the adults who have legal guardianship of you who are responsible for ensuring your health. And actually, legally, look, if you go and you break your toe, and you're like, say you break your hand, and you're like, oh, my hand's broke. I can only do this now. Okay? And they're like, you need to go to the doctor. You need to get that fixed. And you're like, I'm not going to the doctor. I hate the doctor. I'm not going to that damn doctor. I'm just going to tape it, and I'm just going to do like this. Oh, 21, yep. That's you. That's on you. That's on you. You're a crazy person who doesn't want to get your hand fixed. It's on you. If you are below the age of 18, and in some cases 21, thank you, Cynthia, and your child, okay, if you're below the age of 18, and you break your hand, and your parent goes, meh, I'm not taking you to the doctor, leave it. We don't go to the doctor. That parent can be put in jail. You can be put in jail for not taking proper medical care of your child. It's medical child abuse. Neglect. It's a crime. Your children can be taken away. However, when your children have a disorder that could be treated, and you refuse to treat it, and you actually embrace it more. Oh no, baby, that's just who you are. You're just one of those two-finger humans who only use two fingers. And everybody who says that you should have 5 fingers, they are bigoted. And they are being mean to you. And we're going to give you pain pills every day so that the pain of only having 2 fingers doesn't inhibit you from being who you really are. Does that make any damn sense at all? Doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. It's child abuse. It's obviously child abuse. Now, what I also appreciated about the video, and it made some great sense. She told the story of a young boy would about the age 3 or 4, started playing with dolls, started telling everybody he was a little girl. This was in her practice, some years ago. Psychologist. Parents brought the young boy in. Okay? So she started working with the young boy and started talking with him and sort of assessing the situation. And at some point, the young boy said to her, I know, it's exactly something the left would say, Anne-Marie. Some point the boy said to her, well, I want to be a girl because mommy and daddy like girls better than boys. They don't love boys. They only love girls. So, the psychologist was like, oh man, we gotta figure out what happened here. This is obviously some madness, okay? Let's figure out what went on. So, she found out a short period of time ago, the parents had given birth to a special needs little girl. And because the baby required so much additional attention, this young boy had created the idea in his mind that little girls were more loved by his parents, than little boys. His parents didn't love little boys anymore. They only loved little girls. This is what basically the psychologist came to understand. Now, this is a total misconception by a child who doesn't understand the situation, is attempting to understand the situation as best as possible with their young child mind. Okay? Yep. So, what happened? They brought the family in for family therapy. To talk to the child, to talk to the parents, to reteach this young boy that his parents loved him just as much as they loved his sister, and it had nothing to do with her being a girl and him being a boy, that she needed extra care, she had special needs. The family was healed. The young boy went about his life. Bada bing, bada boom. Healthy adult. Now, that same scenario would happen today. That same scenario had happened today. That little boy would have walked into a doctor's office, walked into a psychologist's office, and said, I think I'm a little girl. And in some states, listen to me what I'm saying to you, in some states by law, that psychologist would have been required to begin providing sex change therapy for that child. Not find out the solution to the problem, but because the leftist agenda to sexualize our children, to normalize transgenderism in children, has become legislated. That psychologist would not be able to go, well, we might need to bring all you guys in for therapy. We think there's something wrong with everybody. Okay? That psychologist would, by law, would have been required to begin the process of helping that young boy turn into a little girl. Even the only reason he felt he needed to be a little girl is because he did not feel his parents loved him as a little boy. I bet it's Rosenbach. I bet. They don't want me to tell you this. So that's the scenario. That's the scenario we're having right now. Because we have normalized the idea that it is okay for young people to think that they are a different gender. Before they even know what gender it really means. Yeah, you know what, Jonathan? You don't understand. You don't understand the situation. We're going to send you over there. You didn't listen to actually the story. I'm telling you a story of a psychologist that's an actual story. And you want to argue, well, it's only one scenario. Yeah, there's probably countless other scenarios very similar to that. Regardless of any scenario, there is no healthy time in which you have told a young person prior to completing puberty that they should begin the process to change into another gender. And why do we do that? Why does the left get away with that crap? Yeah, Victoria. Why does the left get away with that crap? Because they say, oh, well, these young people, they're going to commit suicide. They're going to commit suicide if we don't let them change into the gender they really think they are. Well, hey, guess the F what? In the scenario I just laid out for you, it's very likely that young boy would have committed suicide anyway because he thinks his parents don't love him because he has a penis. So you haven't prevented suicide. It's a lie that the left tells us because they want to sexualize children. And I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that the left was engaging in an ongoing commitment to normalizing pedosexual behavior. But damn if it isn't actually what is freaking happening. We have to stop it. And we don't stop it by becoming radical, religious, Amish, okay? We don't stop it by becoming anti-gay. We don't stop it by becoming anti-trans even. We stop it by becoming pro-child. We stop it by saying that as a child, you should be protected. You should be taught to love who you are automatically in your own body. That's what we need to return to. We need to return to protecting our children. We need to protect our young people. We need to tell them the body they are in, that's okay, Mary, the body they are in is okay. And it is not okay for grown-ups to try to put you in miniskirts and try to get you to wear makeup and try to get you to be sexy. You don't need to be sexy. When you're 18, there's plenty of time to be sexy. Until you're 18, improve your brain, improve your muscles, improve your strength, improve your skills, figure out what kind of life you want to be. Figure out who you want to be as an adult. And then when you're an adult, you can be that person. But until you're an adult, we adults are going to be responsible for you. We are not going to let you make bad choices. We are not going to cater to your bad choices, and we're certainly not going to do that to make ourselves feel better. And if any adult tries to turn you into a grown-up and do grown-up things to you, you let us know, and we'll handle that adult in the proper way. Which needs to be some serious consequences, because we cannot and shall not and should not tolerate pedosexual behavior in any way whatsoever. It's not cute. It's not fun. It's not acceptable. So, what have we talked about today? We talked about the Boy Scouts sexualizing young people. We've talked about sexualizing young people by praising sexual behavior. Often inappropriate sexual behavior. We've talked about normalizing transgenderism in children. All three of those things have only the same purpose. And that is to sexualize our children, to make it more comfortable for our children to engage in sexual behavior with pedophiliacs, who have gotten into power. At this point, I can only presume that they have gotten into the houses of power, and this is why they are getting so much tolerance and acceptance in the culture. Because this used to be something we didn't even play around, okay? When you sent a pedophile to jail back when I was a young person, they often ended up dead in jail. In jail. All right? When you sent a pedophile to jail, the other inmates, murderers, thieves, assaulters, rapists. You came into prison and you had raped a child, they would beat your ass to death. Thank you, Rich. Rich says they still take care of him in prison. If murderers, robbers, rapists think that it is not okay to touch children inappropriately enough that they will beat you to death, why in God's name would we on the outside think that that's okay? And we should let him run for office. We should let him fly around on Epstein's plane. And we should somehow normalize the situation and make sure there's plenty of condoms at Scout BSA. So in case the pedophiles want to play with the little girls, they can't get caught because their DNA isn't going to be in the dang baby. Yeah. We got to stop it. We got to stop it from happening. This is why I support what we have been doing so much with this president, because we are taking down the people in power who have been pedophiles. Look at Anthony Weiner. He's overt. We know he's a pedophile. We have evidence. And we've seen the evidence again and again in a lot of these officials. And it's time, and the time is coming, when all of this will come down. And those who commit these acts against children will pay the consequences for what they have done. And we will reset society to appropriately believe that children should be children and sex is for grown-ups. That's what we're going to do on my watch. Because we will not tolerate pedophiles. Not on my watch, homies. Not on my watch. Send as many trolls to tell me that that is stupid as you want. Because you're never going to change my voice when it comes to protecting young people. And frankly, I'm glad you mentioned it, because the more we are doing this, the more we are actually demonizing gay people, lesbians, gay men, bisexuals. By connecting pedosexuality to a normative sexual behavior, we're actually saying that all of those guys are pedophiles. And that is not true. It's never been true. And if anybody should be the most angry about it, it should be the gays. My gays should be the most angry. And should be the most militant in saying we need to get rid of these pedophiles, because I'm just a gay man who happens to want to be with men. But if you make me march in a parade with pedophiles, I won't march. And what has that done? It's silenced your voice. That's what they're trying to do. So, it's a horrible agenda. We're not going to let it happen. I know you and I are not going to let it happen, you guys. We are standing up to it. But I wanted to do a big talk about that today because, woo, people are stupid and the left is out of control. And we've got to do something to stop it. So, if you have a child in the Scouts BSA, I want you to call your Scout leader today, right now, and say, I don't want my child in your troop. And we got to find another solution. We got to find another solution for what we need to do with our children. We need to put our children in organizations that are not trying to sexualize them and normalize youth sexuality. It's not acceptable. It's not healthy. And, you know, frankly, everybody should be sending a letter to the Boy Scouts saying how despicable they are. We actually need to boycott the Boy Scouts, the BSA. We need a boycott BSA. So let's get working on that. Let's get working on that over the next week. We'll talk more about it. But let's start thinking about how we stop boycotting these groups that are normalizing pedophilic behavior. Because we're not having it. It's unacceptable. And that, my friends, is our show today. Thank you for tuning in.
Dream. The American dream.
Just let kids be kids, Anna Marie. Just let kids be kids, and more than even let them, make sure kids are still being kids. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. You can find out more about my pack, Stand with POTUS pack, and our great event, the MAGA Summit, coming up in September.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
At standwithpotus.com. There's this legal document.
It's time for a change in the White House, y'all.
You can read a little more about what I've done, Rules for Trumpers. Great book available on Amazon. And of course, the MAGA Manual of Trumpers 2018 Midterm Strategy Guide. And while you're at it, go check out thepoliticalstorm.com. A great article out there. Check my page, Suzzanne Monk Nation on Facebook. You can always go to the Trump Talk page, www.trumptalkus. Don't forget to sign up for Moar. Moar still needs little funds. Go over there to Moar. Give them a few bucks today. We're going to make all this happen. We are taking our country back. We're doing it together. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the show. I couldn't do it without you. I love each and every one of you patriots. As Kane says, vote them out because the Democrats have lost their damn minds. They have lost their minds. Help save a Democrat by taking him out of power, and maybe this will help them realize they need to get mental help. Okay? Sometimes you have to take the alcohol out of the drunk's hand and say, we're not letting you have alcohol anymore because you're hurting yourself. So we need to take the power out of the Democrats' hands because I don't think they realize they're hurting themselves. Love you guys. We'll be back again Monday. Yes, save a Democrat. Book a therapy appointment for them. Please do. I love you guys. As always, this is your girl Suzzanne Monk, trumping out. We'll see you back again on Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook, Twitter, Infinity ISN. Love you guys. Trump on.